The night was no longer our master. The fire didn't just burn, it told our very first story. The conquest of darkness has begun.
All right, everyone, what did we talk about last time? Humans stood up on 2 feet. Took us 5 million years. Thanks to that, our hands became free, and we could make tools. But our backs started hurting, and childbirth became absolute hell. Today, I'm going to throw an even bigger question at you. When exactly did humans start using fire? And why the hell didn't we cook anything for 700,000 years?
Right? You said last time we had fire but didn't cook with it. Why would that even happen?
Yeah, it's a genuine mystery. We've been using fire since about 1 million years ago, but we didn't really start cooking until around 270,000 years ago.
Yo, so what were they doing that whole time? Just staring at the fire like idiots?
Ha! That's exactly what we're diving into today. See, our ancestors weren't stupid. They were doing something else with fire. Something way more important than cooking. So today, we're going to track down how humans learned to control fire and why it took so damn long to figure out cooking. Our story starts about 1.5 million years ago. Kenya, a place called Kubifora. Something weird was discovered there.
What was it?
Stones. But not just any stones, reddened stones.
What's weird about that?
For stones to turn red, they need to be heated to at least 500 degrees Celsius. And these stones were clustered in specific areas.
So they made fire, right?
Well, we're not entirely sure. Could have been a natural wildfire. Maybe a tree struck by lightning.
So there's no proof?
Exactly. The evidence from 1.5 million years ago basically says, looks like they used fire, but we can't be 100% sure. Scientists are still arguing about it to this day. Some scholars say, this was definitely human-made fire. Others say, nah, that's just a wildfire. So what we can say for certain is, early humans didn't make fire, they scavenged it. They'd find a tree burning from a lightning strike and go, oh, this is awesome, and take it home. Grab a burning branch, bring it back to the cave like, hey guys, check this out. Pretty cool, right?
So they just foraged for it? Like picking mushrooms?
Oh, perfect analogy. For early humans, fire was a gathered resource, not a manufactured product. Now, around 1 million years ago, we finally get solid evidence. South Africa, Wonderwerk Cave. This place is incredible. The fire traces are 30 meters deep inside the cave entrance. Way too deep for any natural wildfire to reach.
So humans brought fire inside?
Yes, exactly. And it's been scientifically proven beyond doubt. In 2012, scientists analyzed the soil under microscopes and found microscopic ash particles. Ash created when plants burn at over 500 degrees.
Wow, so ash from 1 million years ago survived?
Yep, as microscopic particles invisible to the naked eye. And here's why this matters. Making fire deep inside a cave means they didn't just find fire. They could control it.
How do you control it?
You keep it alive without letting it go out. Keep feeding it wood, shield it from wind. Even chimps can sit near fire to warm themselves when they're scared of it. But managing fire? That's a whole different ballgame. Need to add more wood. Should move it away from the wind. That requires planning and foresight.
So they fully mastered fire 1 million years ago.
Halfway, they still couldn't make fire. They'd take embers from natural fires and just keep them going. Now, 790,000 years ago, Israel, a site called Gesher Beno Yaakov. This place is absolutely mind-blowing.
Why?
There's an insane amount of fire evidence here. Charcoal, burnt seeds, heat-affected stones, thousands of them. And scientists did a spatial analysis. Where are all these burnt traces concentrated? The result? They clustered at specific points.
What does that mean?
It means the fire didn't spread randomly. It was deliberately and repeatedly lit in designated spots. Just like we say, "This is the kitchen," humans 790,000 years ago decided, "This is where we make fire," and kept using that same spot.
So they were already cooking then?
Nope, and that's the mystery. Burnt seeds show up, but evidence of cooked meat? Almost none.
Huh? Why not?
Okay, here's where the real story begins. There's this famous scholar named Richard Wrangham. In 2009, he wrote a book called Catching Fire: How Cooking Made Us Human.
Cooking instinct?
Yeah. His argument is this. Humans started cooking 1.8 million years ago, and that's what made our brains grow bigger.
Sounds reasonable?
Right? But here's the problem. Archaeologists dug up fossils and found evidence of cooking only shows up from about 400,000 years ago.
Wait, that's a 1.4 million year gap.
Exactly. This is what scholars call the cooking gap mystery. It's true that brains got bigger and teeth got smaller 1.8 million years ago. But cooking evidence? Not until 400,000 years ago.
So Wrangham was wrong?
Not completely wrong. But there was another reason besides cooking. Now let me introduce you to a bombshell study from 2023. Israeli scholars Miki Ben-Dor and Ran Barkai proposed a completely new hypothesis. Early humans used fire not for cooking, but for preservation.
Preservation?
Yeah, think about it. You're a human 1.5 million years ago. You got lucky and killed an elephant.
Wait, why does this sound familiar?
You remember, we mentioned this in the "Why Did Humans Only Emerge in Africa" episode. But do you know how much an elephant weighs?
5 tons?
Modern African elephants weigh 6 tons. Back then, they were probably even bigger. Now say 20 people are trying to eat it. Even if each person eats 2 kilograms a day.
That'd take like a month?
Right. But meat rots in just a few days. Especially in African heat, it starts stinking within a day or two. And there's an even bigger problem.
What?
Hyenas. They can smell rotting meat from kilometers away. Saber-toothed cats, lions, packs of hyenas, they all come swarming in.
Oh no. So what do you do?
That's exactly when you need fire. First, defense. Light a fire at night, and predators won't come near. Second, preservation. Hang meat over the fire and smoke it, and...
It lasts way longer.
Exactly. Smoking it means it lasts weeks, not days. So early humans used fire not to make food tasty, but to keep it safe and preserve it.
So cooking came way later?
Way, way later. Now let me introduce you to a blockbuster paper from December 2025, published in Nature, the most prestigious journal in science.
Wow! That's literally this month.
England. A site called Beech's Pit, 400,000-year-old fossils. And here, they found fire-starting tools.
Fire-starting tools?
Yeah, tools to make fire. Up until now, we thought humans only started making fire directly around 50,000 years ago. But what they found at Beech's Pit dates back 400,000 years.
What did they find?
Pyrite and flint. Pyrite is a stone with iron content. When you strike it with flint, sparks fly.
Like old school flint and steel?
Exactly. And here's why this matters. Pyrite doesn't naturally occur in that region. They brought it from somewhere else.
Why bring it?
To make fire. Think about it. We'll need this to start fires, so let's bring it with us. Do you realize how incredible that kind of thinking is?
Is it really that big a deal?
It's a huge deal. They're not thinking about immediate needs. They're predicting future situations and preparing in advance. That's future planning ability. Chimps can't do that.
Wow, so from 400,000 years ago, they could make fire whenever they wanted?
Exactly. No more waiting around for natural fires. Digestion got easier, guts got shorter, brains got bigger, and even our microbiome changed. And the most important thing, fire conquered the night.
Would we still be monkeys if we didn't have fire?
Probably, yeah. Without fire, we couldn't have had big brains. Without big brains, no language, no culture, no civilization.
So basically, it's all thanks to fire?
Yep. That's why in Greek mythology, Prometheus gave humans fire. Why do you think the gods were so pissed off? Because they knew fire would make humans like gods.
Guess we should thank Prometheus, huh?
Ha, yeah. But we should thank our ancestors too. That brave ape who picked up an ember from a lightning-struck tree. What is this? It's hot, but fascinating. The first person to bring fire into a cave. Guys, look at this. If I put this here, it doesn't go out. The first person to strike sparks with pyrite. Whoa! Hitting stones makes fire. The first person to put meat over fire. This smells good? All those moments stacked together made us who we are today. Okay, one last thing. What are you all having for dinner tonight?
Fried chicken?
Fried chicken. Nice. Deep fried in oil at 180 degrees Celsius.
I'm grilling some pork belly.
Pork belly. Perfect. Grilled over flame on a grate.
I'm making soybean paste stew.
Soybean paste stew. Excellent. Boiled to a rolling boil over fire. Think about it. Every single day, without fail, we're doing exactly what our ancestors started 1,000,000 years ago.
Wow, now that you mention it.
Yeah, whether it's a microwave, induction stove, or air fryer, it's all using heat. We're still descendants of fire. And here's the fun part. Right now, at this very moment, somewhere in the world, someone is sitting around a fire, sharing stories. Around a campfire at a campsite, by a hearth in a countryside home, even around a candle.
Well, a candle is fire.
Exactly. Why do people love campfires so much? Why do we think lighting candles and drinking wine is romantic?
Habit?
Not habit, instinct. For 1,000,000 years, our ancestors felt safe around fire, felt warmth, felt connection. That memory is etched into our DNA. That's why even now, when we see fire, we feel calm. When we sit by fire, we start telling stories.
That's kind of moving.
Right? Of all humanity's great inventions, fire is still the greatest. The wheel, writing, the internet. They're all important, but without fire, none of them would have been possible. So, what are we doing next time? I mentioned it briefly at the end today. Fire changed the night. Next time, we're talking about exactly that. Conquest of the night. Language and culture, born by the fireside.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah, think about it. For 1,000,000 years, when the sun went down, humans just went to sleep. But once we started making fires, night became a completely different time. From predator time to story time. From fear time to connection time.
Is that really that important?
Incredibly important. During the day, you just work. Hunting, gathering, surviving. But at night, That's when you finally become human. Sharing stories, singing songs, dancing, laughing together.
So, culture was born at night?
Exactly. Myths, religion, art, all of it probably started around fires at night. And here's the even more amazing part. This nighttime created bigger brains.
How?
We'll dive deep into that next time. But here's a hint. Language wasn't born during the day. It was born at night.
Why?
Because there's no time to talk during the day. You're constantly moving. But at night, you can sit around the fire and talk for hours. I saw a lion today. Where? Beyond that hill. That's dangerous. Let's take a different path tomorrow. These conversations repeat, and gradually you build more complex sentences, express abstract concepts, and eventually, language is complete.
So, fire created language too?
Exactly. That's why next time is called Conquest of the Night. Fire made the night safe. Safe nights created language, language created culture, and culture created civilization.
Wow, can't wait!
Yeah. Next time, we'll get more philosophical too. What is a human being? What made us human? Tools? Nope. Chimps use tools too. Bipedalism? Nope. Birds walk on two legs. Big brains? Nope. Whale brains are bigger than ours. So, what is it?
Fire.
Bingo. More precisely, the ability to gather around fire and share stories. Next time, we'll dig deep into that story. So, how was today? Whether you're having fried chicken, grilled pork belly, or making stew, just take a moment to think about it. 1,000,000 years ago, that ancestor who first controlled fire. For 700,000 years, those ancestors who didn't cook but smoked and preserved meat. 400,000 years ago, that person who first struck sparks from stones. 270,000 years ago, that person who first grilled meat over fire. Without them, we wouldn't be here today. We're standing on their legacy. The ability to make fire, to cook, and to gather around fire and share stories. All of this is what made us human.
So we're...
Yes, we're Homo Ignis, fire apes. And tonight, if you happen to sit by a fire, actually these days we don't sit by fires, do we? We sit in front of TVs, computers, smartphones.
Those are still light though.
Exactly. We still seek out light. We still gather around light. We still share stories in front of light. 1,000,000 years ago or now, the essence is the same.
People never change.
Not that we don't change. We don't need to change. Because gathering around fire to share stories is the most human thing we do. All right, that's it for today. Next time, we're diving into the world of night. How the time once ruled by darkness became humanity's most creative time. Stay tuned. You know what surprised me most while preparing this story? We take fire for granted, right? Turn on the gas stove. Fire. Click a lighter. Fire. But think about it. 1,000,000 years ago, people risked their lives to keep a single ember alive. We can't let this go out. Someone keep adding wood. We take shifts guarding it all night. That tension, that desperation, we don't have that anymore. But is that good, or is it kind of sad? I honestly don't know. But what I do know is this. The things we get too easily, the things we take for granted, they're actually what our ancestors spent millions of years creating with blood, sweat, and tears. I hope we remember that. Tonight, when you eat food cooked over fire, just think for a second. This is 270,000 years of history. I promise it'll taste better. For real.
You think keeping fire alive is easy? My lungs are burning! Look, my survival depends on your like and share. Don't let me go extinct tonight. Hit the button!